I hope that everyone is having a fantastic Monday evening. This is Atmospheric Alex here, bringing you an update on future Major Hurricane Helene, currently known as potential Tropical Cyclone 9, that is going to be moving northwards through the Western Caribbean into the Gulf of Mexico, where it does appear where there are chances that it could rapidly intensify into something much more significant. So I will be giving you those details in today's video. All right, and as we take a look at our satellite imagery from cyclonicweather.com for PTC9, we can already notice that we have a lot of spinach starting to occur in the system already. Take a look at those last few frames during the load. We are seeing deep convection before and basically a bloppy structure, but now kind of take a look at that banding in there that's starting to develop in that core. It looks like we're seeing a lot more of a spin starting to develop on the system, which could have implications for the intensity of it in the future. Okay, we're going to take a look at the National Hurricane Center's cone of uncertainty here. And this is our new cone of uncertainty. They updated it just recently. We are seeing this starting off here, maximum sustained winds of 35 miles an hour. So it is still a potential tropical cyclone, though aircraft reconnaissance data has found 40 to 50 mile an hour winds at times. So this could already be on its way to a tropical storm. And just take a look, it can become a hurricane as soon as Wednesday afternoon. And then even a major hurricane upon landfall. I think the National Hurricane Center is underdoing this, though, as they're only showing a Cat 3 peak. I, however, believe it could be a little stronger than that based on the latest hurricane model data. We'll get into that in a bit. It's also noteworthy to look at your inland impacts. The system is supposed to move now a bit slower than before, as it's supposed to quite literally eat up its own steering patterns, so that's going to allow for a much slower system. So we're not really expecting hurricane impacts to go as far inland. That can change, though. So that's why you need to be checking the National Hurricane Center at least 3 to 4 times a day if you're in the affected areas. And please watch your local meteorologist. All right, and we're going to look at your key messages now. I just kind of want to look at key message 2 here. All right. So we're going to take a look at this. So the system is expected to intensify into a major hurricane before it approaches the northeastern Gulf Coast on Thursday. So again, rapid intensification, that's kind of what this is indicating here. While it is too soon to pinpoint the exact location and magnitude of impacts, the potential for life-threatening storm surge and damaging hurricane force winds along the coast of the Florida Panhandle and the Florida West Coast is increasing. So they are getting progressively more confident on potentially a higher end outcome here. A major hurricane impact here. Storm surge and hurricane watches will likely be issued for a portion of that area tonight or Tuesday morning, and residents should ensure they have their hurricane plan in place. That's why I said prepare now on the thumbnail. So how favorable will the conditions be ahead of the system? We're going to take a look at our ocean heat content here. And that's basically going to tell us how far down these warm to even hot waters go. And, somebody on Twitter said this perfectly. I forgot who it was. It wasn't a professional, but I did like their take on this. They said specifically that Helene is going to be walking the red carpet, and she sure will be. Look at these OHC values. Upwards even over 200 in the loop current here. This could end up becoming a much more substantial hurricane than we expect, and we're going to look at the hurricane models in a minute, and I don't want you all to freak out. I don't want you all to panic, but I need you all to prepare for the worst case scenario, but hope for the best case scenario, okay? But there's a reason why not being all excited this videos because I really do believe this could be huge. So we'll keep watching this. Alrighty, now we're going to take a look at our intensity guidance from all of our models across the spectrum here on PTC 9. So as you can see, the main consensus right now has us about a Category 2 to a Category 3, but your heavily weighted models, such as your hurricane models, go all the way up to a Category 5. Now, I want to say this now. This all depends on how quickly this gets its act together. If that burst of convection we saw earlier in the video is the main center, we could be certainly talking about Category 5 potential. Undoubtedly, really, because you already have a well-defined center in that case, and with its spinach, it will start to intensify fairly quickly, fairly rapidly over the next few days. However, if that's not the center and it has to reorganize itself again, we could be talking about more Cat 2, Cat 3, maybe low end Cat 4, but it would probably be in this general vicinity here. Now, what do I think? Well, looking at satellite, I do believe the center is not far from that convection. It will get more overnight tonight, and this is kind of risky to be putting this out here right now like this, but I do certainly expect this to become upwards of a low-end Category 4 hurricane. It's quite a bold prediction, I know, but you saw all those conditions ahead of it. You saw that she's going to be walking the red carpet. You think of the weather enthusiasts as the paparazzi surrounding her, taking all the photos of her, posting it all across weather Twitter. Think about that. It's kind of what it is, right? So, celebrity Helene here, it's going to be walking that carpet. Cat 4 is what I'm thinking, low end. And then, yeah, pretty much a very quick downtrend here as far as things go in the future. Alright, we're going to take a look at our hurricane models here, and we're going to be just diving down a slippery slope here. The first two models have a semi-realistic scenario. The last two are a complete dumpster fire, and I'll tell you why you shouldn't really trust those. We'll see. Here's a look at the HWRF model, known as HWRF. Did a really good job in 2020 with all those storms, and thus it, has gained my respect. My most favorite hurricane model. Well, where did it initialize? We're going to take a look at this first. Well, according to this particular model, remember that big burst of swirling convection I showed at the beginning on satellite? Yeah. Well, guess what? The models are thinking that this could be our center right now. And so this particular model, the HWRF, is going to run with it, right? You can see it comes a bit discombobulated due to a potentially major hurricane in the East Pacific Ocean. It'll actually be drawing up a ton of storm surge flowing out of the southwest and the west on this system. Now, I want to keep this in mind. That's only going to last for probably the next 12 hours, I'd say. As you can see after this, look at it intensifying fairly quickly here. I mean, by the time you get into late tomorrow night, look at this, HWRF, showing already a hurricane. Wow. And maybe even a Category 2 hurricane. We'll have to see. Now, I want to point out something important. This is going to be heading in the Yucatan Channel, all right, in between Cuba and the Yucatan Peninsula. I want you to see what this does. It'll begin to rapidly intensify here, all right? You're going to have a ton of vorticity here swirling off of Cuba and a ton of vorticity here swirling off of the Yucatan. And right within here, you could see definitely some more rapid intensification, which the model shows. It shows a major hurricane by Wednesday morning here. As we continue through, you can see our banding features coming well evident. Another phase of, well, this looks to be explosive intensification here, down to a 937 millibar system. Wow. Yeah, this, at this point, would likely be a Category 4 hurricane, only 57 hours out. Folks, this is early on in the game. If the conditions in the Gulf become even more favorable, especially closer to landfall, the ceiling of this become much more of a serious concern. So 937, all right, we're definitely talking about an upper echelon major hurricane at this point. This will continue here. And this will continue, going into Wednesday evening, Wednesday night, and into Thursday morning. 930 millibars. So, category 4, and this is heading straight towards the Big Bend region. So, right where your worst storm surge could occur at any part of Florida, except Tampa. I don't think they're going to get impacted as much, though, but still be on high alert. Anyways, this particular spot here I am concerned about. As we head later Thursday morning, 933 millibar landfall. This thing is not playing around. Helene could make a very serious racket here. It could just absolutely rattle the Big Bend region of the Florida Panhandle here. Talking about an area I frequently hear about when it comes to this is Steinhatchee. They are very vulnerable to storm surge in that area because all your winds, well, they're funneling into this bowl here. So yeah, your waves keep getting higher and higher and higher until they crash on shore. They're like about 40 feet. So very serious here. And this actually does move fairly quickly inland here. 955 millibars in central Georgia. That's about a Category 2 hurricane in central Georgia. All right, keep that in mind. This will continue here. That is a hurricane over Atlanta. I really don't think this is going to happen in this specific way, but wow. That's what I'm saying. Depending on how fast this moves will also dictate the inland impacts. So we've got to watch this. Heavy, heavy rainfall moving into East Tennessee as well, over the mountains. 974 high-end tropical storm in East Tennessee. Strong mountain wave wind event here. I really want to drive this point home. If you are in East Tennessee, along the mountains, the foothills, even the intermediate foothills closer to the valley, you really need to watch this. Especially your gap flow areas, you all would know about that very well. I know I do. The National Weather Service is missing 6 damaging wind events over this winter, right? At least I know what I'm looking for here, and yeah, this would definitely be a significant event. Your rain getting ripped off of the mountains here. And it's not just that, even your plateau as well, seeing potentially some strong, even damaging winds on this model. We'll see how aggressive this is. I mean, only time will tell. This moves inland here. Quite a bit of rainfall, and it just dissipates over there. We're not going to spend nearly as much time on the other models because they're a little bit wacko right now. HWRF has earned my respect over the years, and that is the one I really like to focus on here. And we're going to look at our HMON. This could still be... Is this still in the realms of possibility here? Yeah, this one's set up really weird. We have to zoom out a little. It does initialize very well with that core. Like I said, it's supposed to lose it, though. Going into, look at that, Tuesday morning. It really doesn't have much convection here, so again, this is likely due to increased wind shear, and I thought that would really hinder the intensity. I was wrong, because look at this going into the Yucatan Channel. We're talking about a major hurricane here Wednesday morning, so we have agreement. This continues here, and it looks like models are pretty confident we'll see explosive intensification just after the channel. Down to 937 millibars, getting in on Thursday morning here. Definitely approaching landfall. 929, 925, and 918. This is a Category 5 approaching the Big Bend region. So this is certainly in the realms of possibility. It really is, unless we see something downtrend quickly. Again, satellite imagery, real-time analysis suggests that. Those low-end scenarios, as of right now, latest satellite trends, are just getting chopped out of existence. Right? It's getting chopped away like that. There goes your GFS, there goes your European. We're really getting down on our models now, aren't we? Yep. There is a Canadian that just flew by as well. So I'm definitely favoring a much higher end scenario here in terms of this system, in terms of Helene. So in short, we're basically weeding out our low end scenarios at the moment. And you can see, yeah, it makes quite the impact here, quite the noise. 918 landfall, that's a Category 5, moves inland, and again, still a hurricane over central eastern Georgia. That is insane. At the speeds this thing is going to be moving on shore. And significant, this is, by the way, I would say an easterly outlier. Very heavy rain for East Tennessee. Look at that. Upstate South Carolina there. Lots of heavy rainfall going through Columbia there. So it's going to be quite the doozy, even with your inland impacts here. And look at that. Still quite the tropical storm almost over my house. That's crazy, right? If I had a weather instrument that could measure pressure correctly, this would be insane. I'd basically, technically, be in the center of circulation, the eye of the storm, in another sense. Alright, now we're going to look at our HAFS models here. This is really going to be a hype central scenario here. You could see, for some reason, these actually struggle a little bit. That's interesting at first. You're probably thinking, what do you mean high-end scenario? These look like they're struggling. You know, John's wind shear over here is battering the western edge. And you're probably thinking, thank you, John. You're really destroying Helene here. You're making her much less of a threat. All hail John, right? Well, no, because that's not going to last for too long. Now, we're going to continue going through rapid intensification right there, right before the channel. And then going into the channel, kaboom. 954 millibars, Cat 3 approaching Cat 4. And that's in the center of the channel, right? You have all your vorticity here going into the system, either side. Let's take a look at this. And it's really going to strengthen your inner core here. That's what's going to happen. You have it passing between two land masses. That could really cause it to tilt a lot more and spin up much quicker. Now, I will say viewers' discretion is advised. Even though this is an unlikely scenario, I'm still going to show it just to cover my ground. 925, 918, 907, 900, 899 millibars. That is a sub 900 millibar hurricane. I don't think I need to say much else. This is the absolute high-end scenario. It's possible, but absolutely not likely as of now. But that strong inner core, that is so well defined there. And, I mean, this imagery, you could frame this up on a wall. And you're probably thinking to yourself, this is ridiculous. This is out of this world to see a scenario like this at 899 millibars. And this thing stops on by the Florida Panhandle in Big Bend and says salutations and hello there with a menacing grin on its face. At least that's what the HAFS wants it to do. Now let me say this pretty quickly here. The HAFS, in my opinion and my personal experience, tends to overdo rapidly intensifying hurricanes. It does. If you remember Hurricane Lee from last year, it showed something similar. I think it was like 892 millibars. That never happened, right? Yeah, this thing tends to go bonkers. And let's think about it this way. What if this was back when Hurricane Irma happened? Or Dorian? I mean, this thing would have probably shown 860, 850 millibars, 250 mile an hour winds, right? That's why I don't really like the HAFS models, and I don't like showing them as much. You could see, oh my gosh, what a blow there. And like I said, it kind of messes with your steering patterns and dies pretty quickly inland here on your models. And once again, goes directly over my house. It's really targeting me, isn't it? So that in general is your HAFS A. Your HAFS B, like I said, it's a slippery slope down the model mountain at this point. And seriously, if you're prone to having panic attacks while looking at weather models, look away. That's all I'm going to say. What do you mean look away, Alex? There's nothing there. There's no center circulation. Well, think twice. This actually didn't initialize well at all, by the way. This is not what it looks like right now. Take a look at this. Alright, looks fairly normal, right? 987 millibars, tropical storm. Oh, what? Cancun. Goodbye. That's not going to actually happen, I don't think. But we're talking about 948 millibars. That's a Category 4 hurricane, not even out of the Yucatan Strait. Yeah. Tell me this isn't going to be a big issue, right? and then it explodes at nearly impossible rates here. It goes all the way down to 888 millibars. 888, not feeling so great. Yeah, this is. Yeah, come on. And they say they want to decommission the H-Warp model. They should decommission the HAFS models because they're out of their mind. This is stupid. You're not going to see a hurricane of this intensity, okay? You're just not going to. There's no way. And if you do, come after me because that would be historic. You could see, just stopping on by, 919 millibars, Cat 5 landfall in the Florida Big Bend area. Yeah, this model is on something. It really is. And this moves on shore, bringing significant impacts, but weakening a lot faster again. And there it is, right on top of my house again. Great. A lot of heavy rainfall streaming in. And again, could see bit of mountain wave enhancement here. We do need to watch for this, but regardless, this system here should absolutely not be messed with. Because take a look at this now. Got some hot towers formed down here. This actually already looks like a strong tropical storm. I am not going to lie one bit when I say that. I've seen this look before, and it has not ended well at all. And the fact that the hurricane models might actually be starting to run behind, that's terrifying. And again, your low-end scenarios, they're just dying out. All right? Right, your GFS model here. Your European model. Your Canadian model. Your Icon model. Your, let's say, NavGem model. And you're left with your hurricane models. So, that being said, thank you all so much for tuning into today's video. Hope you all enjoyed. And if you did, feel free to smash the like on the video, and even subscribe to my little corner of the weather community, and even share this with friends and family if you wish, and turn on the notifications so you get updated when I make a new video. Honestly, might just have to start doing daily uploads. Workload this week is a whole lot less. I swear. I swear that wasn't on purpose. I don't know how it happened, but thank goodness I'm able to cover this a lot more in depth. That being said, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all hopefully tomorrow if the models continue to go awire. Goodbye, and have a wonderful evening and overnight.